What's happening, Expeditioners? It's Peter Waitzman here, founder of Expedition Money. I am going to do a little show and tell today because I have some old laptops. In fact, I usually keep some of my old laptops because it's nice to have a laptop where I need it, a laptop that's ready to go. And some of these are pretty old. Some of these are showing their age. They're not super fast. Some of these I just use to get online because the computer portion of it, the processor is so slow. So it's something I can take to a coffee shop, beat around on, respond to emails, maybe watch some YouTube videos. But if it gets nicked, that's how the British say, stolen, purloined, whatever, then I'm not out a lot of money and it's not a big deal. But recently I had a situation where one of these laptops was just running out of hard drive space. And that's not because I have a lot stored on it. In fact, I usually use the cloud for that, but it didn't have enough hard drive space to really download anything. So even file attachments, it just was a really small hard drive. This was a computer that was kind of bargain basement when I bought it. And now 6-7 years later, it is really kind of showing its age. And I thought, well, maybe it's just reached the end of its life and it's ready to move on to the next thing or send it to the great iFixit repair shop in the sky or whatever. But I thought, you know what? If it's hard drive space, that's really the problem. Maybe I can find a solution to that. And so I have a couple of them here. I want to show you a couple things that have worked for me in the past. This one is a portable SSD hard drive. This one is actually pretty cheap, and it is just powered by the USB cord here. And that's kind of important because some of them are pretty large, and they kind of go by different enclosures. So this one is a very small enclosure. Some of them will have a large enclosure because it uses a standard desktop computer hard drive in them. But some of these are very small, very light. And what I like about this is that it'll work, certainly with the laptop, because it'll get its power directly from the one port. Some of these will have a second cable because one will be for transmitting data. The other cable will go in here, and that will be for transmitting power so that it can spin a platter or power up the hard drive. So something like this, even though it looks small and simplistic, is actually what you want in a lot of cases for these hard drives. This can add quite a bit of space. So if you have like a small hard drive, a 64 gig hard drive, or something smaller even, you can add a quarter of a terabyte, half a terabyte, something like this. Now, one of the things that you might notice here is that this piece of hardware is kind of hanging off this end. We've got probably 10 inches of cord here. So if you're using this with a laptop, you may have this ancillary piece. And if this gets busted, you're going to lose that data that you have on it. So I want to show you another option here. This is a USB hub. And what I really like about this is that I can get a much smaller storage device. So something like a thumb drive, something like these little flash drives, you can get these in really high capacities. You can plug that in there. It's a solid state drive. So again, you don't have to worry about kind of bumping it and ruining a platter or anything like this. It's a little bit smaller. Some of these will have the prongs, the USB-C prongs sticking right off the edge here. So you can plug it right into the side of the laptop, especially if you use something like a MacBook or any kind of recent laptop. This will take up only a little bit of space. It'll just kind of stick out the side of the keyboard, which is really nice. You can put in some additional accessories there. The other thing I like about this, even though this one has the cable coming off the end here, especially for the ones that you plug in, if you don't have an SD card slot, and that is a really tiny slot, there's an SD card and a mini SD card, and one is about 1 inch wide, and the other one is maybe 3/8 of an inch wide, so very, very small. And they will take those little storage cards. You'll usually use them in digital cameras or drones, anything that you want to write a lot of data to. And the point is that they are high capacity and very small, and they write very fast. So if you don't have one of those on your laptop, sometimes you can get these with an SD card slot on it. And that's actually what I've done. So I have one of those plugged into my laptop. I have an SD card in there. And so I have this and then just this. There's nothing else sticking out. And that SD card is an external hard drive as far as the computer can see. So I can download things to it. I can actually install Google Drive and Dropbox and use that external drive as the repository for the storage. So it basically takes my 64 gig laptop and turns it into a 1/4 terabyte laptop, which is really nice. It's kind of extended the life to it. Now, if you do have an SD card slot on your laptop, so you want to look around the edges where you have your ports, you might see a little slot. And sometimes there's like that inch wide slot and the smaller slot above it. So you can use either card. And if you do have that, you can just get the card. And now your laptop looks no different. You don't have anything hanging out the sides here. You don't have anything that you have to unplug and also put in your backpack or your briefcase and take with you. So that can be a really, really convenient way to add some storage to your laptop. So if the issue with your current laptop or the computer that you're using is storage capacity you have, Things like this: an external hard drive, a USB hub, that plugs directly into the port, a USB hub that has an SD card slot, or just use the card slot on your computer. Or if you have a USB port, you can find sometimes just a thumb drive like this and do it directly. Any of those options are great ways to expand the storage and the life of your computer so that you don't have to constantly upgrade. You don't have to pay big money for it. So instead of me now looking at a $600, $700, $800 laptop as a replacement, all I did was spend about $29 and I got the storage capacity on my laptop that I needed. So hopefully that helps you if you want to extend the life of your laptop. I'll see you later.